Hello 5G friends, hope you had a fantastic weekend. The overall sector represented by this 5G ETF had a red day. We did manage to break the high of the fourth by a penny, which is close enough for me to consider as a double top. And I will be looking at this as locking in this resistance level in a daily downtrend, which means that if we come up against this again and we see this act as resistance again, I'm going to be looking for a reversal for downside continuation going into the rest of the week. And essentially what that would mean was I'm looking for a new lower high and a lower low continuation. And that is going to continue until the pattern breaks. And until it does break, we have to simply assume that it's going to follow through. So we need to be proven otherwise, and this is how we play the trends. If we are looking at a trend, we are at the top of the trend. And one of the ways we can visualize that is just to draw it in. And we're getting very close to that area of resistance. So we plan for downside and get pleasantly surprised if we see a bull break. 2473 is our double top resistance that we need to look at going into tomorrow, and we have EMA 26 resistance on the daily at 2475. We have low of day of support today, which is 2454, and from the 5th, 2435. Going, let's just take a look at the 15-minute time frame. You can see that we had a very nice attempt today. So here's our open, a nice high open, slammed right into that area of resistance. Gave it all back, slowly bleeding through the duration of the day. And there are a couple tickers that really represent this. Let's start with SWKS. On the daily time frame, we have a shooting star candlestick, so a big gap up, a lot of downside pressure, and we would expect this to continue. This is a nice breakout of this daily tightening range. I won't call it an equilibrium, though I probably have in previous videos, but there is that gap up, which means we're going to be extended in a lot of time frames. This is a reversal candlestick, so we would expect downside tomorrow. And if we go to the 5-minute time frame, you can see that slow bleed, pretty much 5-minute downtrend for the duration of the day. No reversal pattern, just steady selling and overall weakness. Here's the wick, big volatility into bear dominance for the day. So resistance is going to be the high of day today at 105.42, support 103.15, and then we're going to be looking for hyperextended supports via RSIs when we get back down to the range of 100, let's say. So we'll go back to our hourly time frame. We are extended at 61.13. If we see a big sell-off and a flush below that into that 100 level, then our RSI is going to be extended on the 1 hour, and very likely on the 15 as our RSIs are already 45. So that's the sort of thing we'd be looking for. Flush to the downside, oversold bounces, and trying to find a base of support. AVGO on the daily time frame, another red candlestick here. This one more contained, a little bit of profit taking today. So the low of day support is in check. And what we're looking for here is to see if the bulls are going to maintain this uptrend. It's a slight daily uptrend. We've lost higher lows. Now are we going to get lower highs and lock in that trend? That's what we want to know. So today's resistance is important with the high at 317.15. And then I'm going to look to yesterday or Friday's low at 312.06 for a quick little bit of information about how much support do we have up here and are we going back to the downside. If we blow through both of those, likely a daily higher low is possible, or at least we're going to be moving in that direction. MRVL. This guy's starting to look a little bit bear flaggy, and it's not quite the contained range that we would want to see. We would want to see pretty much a straight drop. Let's try and redraw that one without the magnets on. Straight drop, and then a nice contained range. This is a little bit too volatile for me. I'd love to see it more contained than this. But what's important is that we've got a red day, and we're carving out a base of support. We're getting some lines that we can utilize for the future. And the low that I'm paying attention to is from the 5th, 23.39. In fact, let's turn the magnets on to get our actual levels. Hey, what do you know? We got it. 23.39 is the low to watch, and today's low of day support, 23.46. If we lose those, we don't have a heck of a lot to look at. We can go out to the weekly and carve out a couple levels here. Most importantly, 24.94, and then the week following, 23.21. So a lot of downside momentum in MRVL right now. And we're waiting to see if this base of support can be established. Can we find a trend change on the hourly that's going to give us the confidence we need to enter a long position? Right now, it's not here. ADI in the daily time frame, similar setup. We still have resistance at 116.19. We've poked over it, got very close to it a couple times, and now we are seeing a red day. So what is going to come next? Well, we have low of day support from yesterday, which is very close to today's low of day. So Friday actually is the right term that I should be using. 114.40, and today's low is 114.51, so 11 cents away from that. That's going to be a key level, and then we're range bound between this 116.19 and 114.40. A couple of key levels to watch. Lose that support, we have low day from this push, which is likely an hourly or a 4-hour higher low, 113.16, and then nothing till all the way down here at 108.67. If bulls can turn things around again, resistance 116.19, 118.46. Last guy, INSG. This has been our runner. Big move, opened higher this morning. A little bit of a run, just a few pennies up, and then bulls have dominated, or I should say bears have dominated pretty much everything today. A lot of momentum going in here. We need to see what the follow through is. Is this just a lot of profit taking and are bulls going to be sitting here waiting to rebuy, or are we going to see continuation? On the 5-minute time frame, we'll take a look and see who really controlled the day. Beautiful 15-minute equilibrium, tightening range, bears won, see the price drop, and if we go to the 2-minute time frame, this is starting to look a little bit tight, like a wedge, and we can almost make that work, but not quite enough information there. So I see a lot of bearish dominance. Here is that bear tightening range, bear break, another tightening range, bear break, mini wedge into a big quasi wedge. All in all, bears control INSG today. Let's see what they do tomorrow. Important support level is 644. Let's see if we hold that. If we manage to maintain that, we can still hold on to daily higher lows. That's it for today. Have a wonderful Tuesday, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.